The anime starts with a woman named Anna Shinkan, who is a priest. She visits the Adventure Guild to register as a healer. There, she meets a female supervisor named Ukitsuke Jo. While there, a man named Kinshir approaches Anna and asks her to join him in fighting goblins attacking a village. They think goblins are weak and small, not knowing that goblins are actually very cruel and often capture women to use them as slaves. Anna and the other adventurers go to the goblins' lair to attack them. However, when they arrive, they are attacked by hundreds of goblins and are quickly defeated. Anna is the only one who survives, but she is very scared and even pees herself when she sees how cruel the goblins are. She is left alone. Soon after, a man in armor called Goblin Slayer comes to help Anna. He wants to kill all the goblins there, and Anna decides to go with him. They make a plan to destroy the goblins and blow up the place. Goblin Slayer is known for being very harsh and doesn't hesitate to kill even the small goblins. The next day, other adventurers from the Adventure Guild come to the goblin lair with supplies for the people who were captured by the goblins. Most of the prisoners are women. They are given blankets and taken to the city in a cart. The scene then shows Goblin Slayer's past. When he was a child, his village was attacked by goblins. He saw his family being killed and tortured, and the goblins even burned down the village. Young Goblin Slayer could do nothing but hide and watch. From that day, he decided to kill all goblins and earn the name Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer lives with his childhood friend, Ushikai Musume. He always checks his yard to make sure there are no goblins nearby. After checking, he goes inside to have breakfast with Musume. Then, they get ready to go to town to sell cow's milk. Goblin Slayer asks Musume to come with him to meet Anna at the Adventure Guild. They need to talk about their new plan to fight the goblins. The three of them go to see Jo to tell her that Goblin Slayer and Anna will return to the goblin lair, while Musume goes back home. In the evening, Goblin Slayer and Anna go to a hill near the goblin's lair. Goblin Slayer shoots fire arrows at the goblin nest, setting it on fire. They get close to the nest and use Anna's power to trap the goblins inside, so they burn. Goblin Slayer watches the nest carefully. If any goblin tries to escape, he kills it without mercy. The next day, 3 visitors come to the Adventure Guild and are welcomed by Jo. The visitors are a woman named Yosei Yunde, a male lizard demon named Tokage Sori, and a male dwarf named Kohito Dushike. They ask Goblin Slayer to help get rid of goblins in the elves' territory. Goblin Slayer agrees and tells Jo about his new mission. In the evening, Goblin Slayer leaves with the visitors and sets up camp. They have a barbecue with a bonfire to get to know each other. The next morning, they went near the goblin's lair. Yosei attacked the goblin guards with her arrows. After that, they all went into the lair and found a wounded female elf being held captive. Suddenly, a goblin tried to attack them with a knife, but Goblin Slayer quickly cut off its head with his sword. Soon after, Tokage used telepathy to summon one of his soldiers to take the injured elf to a nearby village. Meanwhile, the group continued exploring the goblin's lair. Inside, they saw many goblins on guard. Kohito and Anna used sleep and illusion magic to make the goblins unconscious. Then, they killed all the sleeping goblins. Not long after, a giant ogre appeared, guarding the goblin nest. Goblin Slayer attacked it, knocking it back. Anna gave Goblin Slayer a healing potion so he could get up and use his magic to attack the ogre again. The ogre was badly injured by Goblin Slayer's fierce attack and was killed. Finally, they all returned to the city to rest. After that, Yosei seemed to like Goblin Slayer because he was very brave and reliable. It turns out that Jo from the Adventure Guild also likes Goblin Slayer. Even Musume, who grew up with Goblin Slayer, likes him too. In the morning, Goblin Slayer went to the Adventure Guild. Jo told him that a sword priest named Surifer no Otome asked for his help to get rid of goblins in the Water City. The adventurers then left for the Water City to meet Otome. When they arrived, Otome said that goblins had attacked the women in the city, and she suspected the goblins had a nest under the Water City. With this information, they went to the water canal to investigate. Otome was right. The canal was full of goblins. There was also an army of goblins arriving by ship. The adventurers attacked the goblins and won. After killing the front goblins, a giant crocodile appeared and chased them. Goblin Slayer lured the crocodile into a deeper channel where more goblins were. The crocodile then attacked the goblins in the water while the adventurers watched from above. Goblin Slayer thought someone was leading the goblins to build a nest under the city. The next day, they returned to explore the waterways. Goblin Slayer brought a canary to detect poison, as goblins often use poison to attack. While exploring, they found a room and checked it out. The room was a trap set by the goblins, and they got trapped inside. The goblins released poison gas into the room, but Anna used her power to neutralize the gas. Soon, the goblins broke into the room, led by the Goblin Champion, a monster. A fight started, and Goblin Slayer was badly injured by the Goblin Champion. However, a red power revived Goblin Slayer, allowing him to get up and attack the Goblin Champion fiercely. Seeing this, the other goblins ran away. Goblin Slayer and Anna were seriously injured. When Goblin Slayer woke up, he was in a room, lying on a bed with Anna. They were healed through a ritual with Anna, who is a holy girl, to restore his strength. Otome, also in the room, told Goblin Slayer that she was no longer holy because she had been captured by goblins 10 years ago. Despite defeating the Demon Lord, she was still very scared of the goblins' cruelty towards women. After that, they all gathered and ate together. Then, Goblin Slayer and Anna went to a blacksmith to repair his sword. On their way home, they met two other adventurers, a woman named Meijo and a man named Yeritsukai. Meijo and Yeritsukai brought a sack of dry flour that Goblin Slayer had ordered to fight the goblins. The adventurers went back through the underground channel of the Water City and encountered a one-eyed monster. Goblin Slayer used the dry flour to attack the monster, causing a huge explosion. As they went deeper into the channel, they found a portal mirror. They thought all the goblins came through this portal. Soon, hundreds of goblins appeared, ready to attack them. To make the story short, they defeated all the goblins by collapsing the waterway, killing the goblins with falling debris. The adventurers survived by hiding under the portal. In the evening, Goblin Slayer met Otome in the park. She asked him to stay with her, so she would always feel safe from the goblins. But Goblin Slayer refused and said he would come anytime there was a new mission to kill goblins in the city. Afterward, the adventurers returned to the city, and Goblin Slayer went back to his home on a farm. The next day, Goblin Slayer found many goblin footprints around his house. He asked Musume to stay away from their house for a while because he suspected that the goblin leader had sent troops to attack their village. But Goblin Slayer knew he couldn't fight them all alone, so he asked the other adventurers in the guild for help. Goblin Slayer went to the adventure guild to meet the other adventurers. He told them what he had seen and asked for their help, and they were happy to assist. Joe, representing the adventure guild, announced that the guild would give a reward of 1 gold coin for each goblin head. In the evening, the Goblin King prepared to attack the village. The goblins used the female captives as shields against the adventurers' attacks. Luckily, Meijo and Kohito used their magic to help the other adventurers save the captives. After that, the battle began, and the adventurers easily defeated the goblins. The Goblin King had also sent the Hobgoblin and the Goblin Champion. The adventurers fought these two giant goblins while Goblin Slayer directly faced the Goblin King. Both the Goblin King and Goblin Slayer were very strong and got seriously injured. Fortunately, Anna healed Goblin Slayer, allowing him to get up and kill the Goblin King. Afterward, they returned to the city and had a party together. At the party, Goblin Slayer removed his iron head cover. Many adventurers were curious about his real face because he had never shown it before. When he took off the cover, the women were amazed by his good looks. So the moral of the story is, always carry a bag of dry flour and a canary when fighting goblins, because you never know when you'll need to bake a monster or detect poison gas. And who knew that under that iron helmet, Goblin Slayer was a total heart